group of Zanu PF members that has decided to stand up for retired General Chuenga. They are an affiliate group whom they call themselves the Patriotic Vanguard. And this group is preparing to actually hold its press briefing to speak out against Temba Mliswa in defense of the Zanu PF vice president, that is none other than retired General Chuenga. You would understand that Temba Mliswa has been at loggerheads with retired General Chiwenga, calling him equally corrupt with those is accusing to be corrupt within Zanu PF. This is an escalation within Zanu PF. It appears there is no backing down in this drama and fiasco. There are quite a number of stories that have happened, and I hope I will have time to share all of them. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red subscribe button so that next time when we beam live you become the very first one to watch us. Now I'm having a statement here of the Vanguard. Now it is written as follows. It says, greetings. We have observed, that's the statement, that's how it reads. We have observed with serious concern as the Patriotic Vanguard utterances made by opposition activists Mr. Temba Mliswa against the Zanu PF Presidium and Vice President Dr. C.G.N. Chiwenga. In particular, we want to categorically state with zero ambiguity that Mr. Temba Mliswa is not a Zanu PF member. Hence, he has no locus standi to comment or give direction on matters that concern Zanu PF. Suggesting that VP Chiwenga should resign is a direct attack of the appointing authority, His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. Vice President Chiwenga is a decorated, trained and tested retired general who has stood with the country and indeed Zanu PF through the most turbulent times and therefore deserves to be respected. We have in it on good authority that Temba Mliswa is just a lone mouthpiece of a few unpopular corrupt individuals who view Vice President Chiwenga's stance on corruption as their ticket to prison. Time and time again, Zanu PF has declared corruption as the #1 enemy to economic progress, and this has been central in its election campaign manifestos. The general populace wants to see an end to corruption. Key social services like healthcare have seriously been affected by this evil pandemic called corruption. Pansi le corruption. They were supposed to say pansi corruption. If Temba Mliswa is left unchallenged, it's just a matter of time before he attacks President E.D. Mnangagwa directly. That we will not tolerate. We are more than ready to defend the party and presidium from opposition malcontents of the Mliswa variety. Touch not the presidium. President E.D. Mnangagwa, in his latest address to the Central Committee, emphasized the need to amplify the fight against corruption. The president's word is the final position and policy. All of us should follow and toe the line. But also, these people, they are somehow confused. Now, they say, okay, let me just finish and then I'll just sum up the confusion at once. Our message to PF members is that of focus and unity. The president encouraged the party to start preparing for a resounding victory in 2028. This can only be achieved by a united party. Mr. Temba Mliswa's utterances are an attempt to create division within Zanu PF. You know, I think these people are actually living in falsehood. Now, why do I say so? You cannot separate Temba Mliswa from Mnangagwa. Temba Mliswa is a product of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. I think they are trying to play smart, touring the factional lines, but the truth of the matter is that Temba Mliswa can actually be traced from Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Blessed Geza released a statement giving us the details on when exactly Temba Mliswa met Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, and also the instructions that were given by Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Hence, it is incorrect to actually characterize Temba Mliswa as if he is an opposition political party member. If there is anything, the right taking of Temba Mliswa, he is part and parcel of Zanu PF. And by the way, he has been exposed time and time again that Temba Mliswa, in fact, even as an independent candidate, was not actually divorced from Zanu PF. He was planted to carry out nefarious agendas of Zanu PF outside Zanu PF. So I find this statement in that regard very, very ridiculous. I know they are trying to tow within the factional lines, but the truth has to be spoken. I like people who speak the truth. Now it continues to say, Mr. Temba Mliswa's utterances are an attempt to create division within is it Temba Mliswa alone within Zanu PF? And we therefore urge Zanu PF members to ignore these utterances and focus on party building programs and a successful 22nd annual People's Conference in Mutare. Zanu PF is a mass party. Many sacrificed their lives for it to remain in power, and as such, it can not be taken out of power through careless and unfounded utterances by a losing opposition candidate. Be warned, Mr. Temba Mliswa, Zanu PF is not an ordinary organization. Zanu PF is a revolutionary party, and as such, its systems and way can only be understood by patriots. Stay in your lane and stay out of Zanu PF issues. Zanu PF has the constitutional mandate to lead Zimbabwe into... This may be also theatrics of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. This group may be created by Mnangagwa. Why is it coming out now? I've never heard this group within Zanu PF called the Patriotic Vanguard. It seeks to alienate Temba Mliswa from Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, and create Temba Mliswa as an individual who just decided to do what he is doing on his own without the blessings of... This may be counterintelligence of some sort that is done by Mnangagwa working with Temba Mliswa, realizing that the plot to use Temba Mliswa to actually target retired General Chuenga was met with a serious backlash. I think many anti-groups will emerge to confuse the masses. Yes, I am sensing that, because really this statement, as much as it purports to be supporting retired General Chuenga, but also seeking to make Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa the best person, this is counterintelligence, realizing that a lot of, there has been a lot of backlash, especially through his use of Temba Mliswa, and most probably realizing that the temperatures are rising within Zanu PF. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa may be after now trying to cool down the temperatures in Zanu PF, because, okay, look, where did Temba Mliswa get this? Because this statement is posted by Temba Mliswa. I saw it on Temba Mliswa. You see, it is posted on Temba, unless if it is posted somewhere, I'm yet to actually find out. But let me just, sometimes people usually, the commentators are usually good. Let me see what are the perspective of the commentators. Now, before I go there, let me read what Temba Mliswa, after posting this statement, says. He says, some vague entity feebly aligning itself to Zanu PF, is preparing to host a presser asserting my non-affiliation with the party. Let me be clear. My denunciation of corruption arises not from any notion of being a Zanu PF member, but from the fact of being a Zimbabwean. That is Temba Mliswa. It goes on to say, moreover, the timing of their presser following their conspicuous license in the face of Sekuru Blessed Geza's brazen attack on President Mnangagwa lays bare their factional nature and objective. Why did they encourage? Why did their outrage remain dormant during that aggressive assault? Now, then he goes on to say, they may attempt to propagate this veneer of patriotism to the naive, but those enlightened enough will see them for what they are, at the very least opportunist, out for easy money, and most likely a factional outfit with ulterior motives. He goes on to say, furthermore, I find it deeply ironic that this statement lacks even the semblance of a party letterhead to clothe it with a semblance of political dignity. This is nothing more than a desperate ploy to secure funding under the guise of patriotism when they are mere parrots. He goes on to say, my father fought for this nation, and in his steps I uphold the ideas of the liberation struggle he championed. I never insulted the president or the VP, but as an anti-corruption crusader, I will always speak out with facts. Don't be jokers with these fake accusations. Clothed with the positions of chairperson. I mean, he just wrote of whatever chairperson, whatever Africa vice president, and being a subbook. I don't require any additional pedestal to speak out against corruption. It's a moral imperative to do that. Then someone says, ndiani ari kukunyorera chirungu mazuvano Temba? So they have even hired you a PR professional. Then someone say, a well-known corruptee calling others corruptors. Nonsense. Hapana akavimba na Zanu akasanyadziso. People are not fools. This statement is stashed. I like this person. I like this person. This statement is stashed. You are maybe the one who authored it with your Takwires and the itis to try and disassociate yourself from it and his thieves. Of course, you were bought wangu. Stop these theatrics. So exactly what I have just said, that this is a ploy. It is, look at the author of this. Look at actually the author of this. I think I saw Chamwanda. Let me just check. Yes, Chamwanda 3. Someone says, is Mliswa Ndebele or Shona? But that is not necessary. People continue, but how do you say Mliswa? He's a Zimbabwean. Zimbabweans have got this problem. If someone does something wrong, then you start saying this one is from Zambia, this one, that would not work. Now, let's critique Temba Mliswa for who he is. Anyway, Temba Mliswa, in this, what they are trying to do now, maybe they are realizing, there is a lot that is ongoing. That haven't even actually been unearthed. Remember, we heard that the office of Kazembe was raided for hours and stuff taken from that particular office by heavily unknown men, not unknown but unidentified men. And also to Kwarara, although saying there is no foul play, one of his businesses was actually burnt down. This was not reported. This was never in the news. He starts to defend it when it's out already, when we have reported about it. So there is a lot that is ongoing. Mnangagwa maybe realizes that he underestimated retired General Chuenga. So this is trying to cool down the temperatures by introducing this non-existing group. Why is this group? Maybe if it was, I know a group called the supporters of General whatever Chiwenga who have been issuing statement. If it was them, it was gonna make sense. But this group, all of a sudden, Vanguard, Patriots, whatever, and look at how the statement is coined. It borrows some of the statements that have been said by retired General Chuenga, trying to give an impression that Chiwenga and Mnangagwa are united. I think they are trying to play with us. They think we are dumb. Temba Mliswa, you can try better tricks. I think this is one of the very, very, primitive way of doing things. So it shows that the camp is highly confused. Temba Mliswa was supposed to release another episode. He only released one. And there was serious backlash. What I can actually attest, and I can see it from afar. I saw a statement somewhere suggesting that the wife of retired General Chuenga is giving activist money outside the country. This is mere propaganda. People have naturally embraced retired General Chuenga out there. They are supporting. When I think Temba Mliswa underestimated that, they thought by releasing those files, people were going to change. And what I noticed is that people began to defend the retired General Chuenga more, and he became more popular. In fact, if there is anything, the program of Temba Mliswa, obviously funded by Mnangagwa, seriously backfired. And to the alarming levels. Now, retired General Chuenga is the most. I do social media analysis. I'm based from analysis. You can also research on your own. He has all of a sudden become very, very popular through the actions of Emmerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa, paying an incompetent Temba Mliswa. I think Temba Mliswa did a very, very terrible job. And this definitely, you remember, I've always used this statement that there is no one who is going to be blamed for the downfall of Emmerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa except himself. His downfall would be a result of his actions, and he would have no one else to blame. And you know, they are trying now to bring in Blessed Geza into this. The old man is quiet. He's quiet. He didn't send Temba Mliswa. He just warned people about Temba Mliswa. And also, you see, to see that I think the PR of retired General Chuenga is very, very smart. Temba Mliswa, Blessed Geza forewarned. Temba Mliswa came and implemented the program of action, trying to appease those who paid him large sums of money. What did we see Blessed Geza and Chiwenga doing? They kept quiet. They are quiet even up to today. They never said anything, no statement. I can tell you, this is eating and giving Emmerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa sleepless nights. Just imagine, you release something about someone, you expect that person to act emotionally and respond or do something, but the man has been quiet. The camp is just quiet, just watching. It has been, in fact, Temba Mliswa against the people of Zimbabwe. The majority of even members of the opposition stood up and began to poke holes on each and everything that Temba Mliswa was saying. And they went back and fetched some of the things that he posted some few months ago, which were in contradiction with what he was trying to defend now. Portraying him as the real personification of a flip-flopper of not. It's a project that had chaotic results to the core, and I think it did harm the camp of Emmerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa seriously. So that, and also this may be the suggestion of Temba Mliswa. This statement may be the suggestion of Temba Mliswa. Most probably they will hire some few fools to actually do this. But first of all, writing. Do you think if there were individuals who were planning to hold a press statement, Temba Mliswa would be privy to that statement, or the statement is actually released when the press statement is being done? But just imagine the person who is targeted is already having a statement and telling us about that statement and what would be said during that press briefing. This is nonsense. I'm laughing at the extent of foolishness and thinking that everybody is a fool. I think at least before I even said it, someone else picked it up that this is a staged press briefing. We wait to see whether they are going to go on with it, but people are picking it up. It is another strategy again that will backfire to the core. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Do remember also to support my album as well as also follow my accounts, digital platforms, especially Instagram. I'll be posting the link. Kindly follow that channel of mine on not Instagram, rather. I'm speaking about Spotify. I'll be sending the link on this particular videos on the comment section. Okanqube Umhlabane is signing out. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the other side